right, so Shahan, what we just saw now was one of from the 6 suspects being taken to, in fact, 2 being taken to the restroom and then being taken back up. I actually saw and know one of those suspects who we were with at the march, who's part of those that have been subdued right now and taken in for questioning. The police just actually took them up again where they were actually holding them and, of course, ensuring that they can try to get answers for them. And we just saw that just a couple of seconds ago, that some of the 2 suspects being taken to the restroom and being taken back up. We do understand that the 56 suspects are still being, held and subdued by the police, just a floor up from where we're standing right now. And of course, we cannot go that direction because the police have blocked us from entering into that, passage or corridor. And like I said, one of those suspects who was actually being escorted to the restroom by the police, I remember very well from the march. He was also one of them who was saying that they were willing to actually put their lives on the line and ensuring that they get what they want. In fact, that's a very close ally of Mr. Mzobe, who I believe you've been chatting to right now, who's the national coordinator. And they were one of those at the forefront of ensuring that they will cause destruction if their demands are not met. And this was just it right now, where we saw them being escorted upstairs once again.
Yeah, and I see that Letshwiti-Jones has just issued another statement, and it says, this evening police successfully rescued at least 3 hostages at a Centurion Hotel in Pretoria. At approximately 7:15 this evening,
another
we received a
on your
report
screen,
of
as
a
you can
possible
see.
hostage. All right, Pule, we're back on you. Carry on.
There we go, Shahan, just one of the suspects being escorted to the restroom. Now, I'd want you to actually stay on this picture for just a few minutes and you will be able to see. That's one of the ladies who had joined the march, who I also had an interaction with. So most of them are actually familiar faces, which I'm actually seeing, Shahan. And these are some of the suspects, just again, as you can see as a panel on my right, one of them as well being escorted and been walking with the police officials as well. And I want to wonder, why is it now that they are being escorted? Perhaps maybe they've asked to be excused and be taken to the restroom while the officials deal with them a floor up from where we are. But just a few seconds from now, you will see one of the suspects once again. And like I've said, these are familiar faces that I had interacted with on that march that took place outside the Tuli House. I'm just trying to look and see if they will be, leaving that room just any moment from now. And these are the very same veterans who had their placards and, of course, were demanding those that the president respond to some of their concerns. We've seen quite a lot of this behavior as well, especially from the MK vets. You'd remember as well during the late Kevin Mapatso from the MKMV who has been buried, some of those behavioral tactics that were taking place there, where there were also disruptions. We've seen them also staging what you'd call, guards outside Nkandla in KwaZulu-Natal as well. And we've also mentioned around the matter that took place in November in Limpopo, where we saw last year, where we saw that division that was spewing amongst the MK vets, and of course other members of APLA and of course Azanla, and the Deputy President really condemning that, saying that there has to be unity. And there we are, just going to pan on my right hand side, one of the suspects, of course, and some of the veterans who were part and parcel of that march that took place, smiling. Okay. Why?
But it's was hostage, the same meeting.
Hostage?
No.
And what is it? What do you want?
We want to go out. We want our money. That's all. The money that was given to us by the UN. Yes.
And if that doesn't happen, are you still demanding to see Deputy President?
We're going to demand it. Yes, because it's all.
Okay. All right. There we go. Shahan, just in 2 simple words, she's still demanding her money. They want their money. That's a 4.2 million rand gratuity fee. Fortunately enough, we managed to speak to her. She says they didn't hold anyone hostage. But of course, according to the officials, we do know that that was the event that unfolded inside that room just a floor up. We do understand that the police officials and, of course, SAPS spokesperson Vish Naidu said they managed to whisk out some of the ministers who were held hostage in there. You also use the term rescue them. But, you know, this is the third veteran that, apart from Lwazi as well, who has said that they were not engaged in any activities of holding them hostage, and all they wanted was their demands to be answered. Now, like you just heard right now, they want their money, and she's not quite clear as to whether they're still keen on meeting the Deputy President. And like I've said earlier, what we understand is that the Deputy President, David Mabuza, is expected to be in the Northern Cape tomorrow. We haven't seen any statements whether that election trail campaign will be postponed in order to accommodate some of these unfolding events that we're seeing here, and for them to have a peaceful talk and to see if there can be direction going forward.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see that these veterans, despite everything they're going through, they're sticking to that message. We want our money. That's what she says as she was taken from that room, I think, to the restroom. Pule, I'm going to try and let you see if you can get anyone else that you can speak to. We're going to stay live on your visuals. So if you want to get your camera to point to the door so we can see them walk by, that's perfectly fine. And then once you have someone, we'll come back to you live. I just want to read, and I'm looking away because I'm looking at Pule's visuals as well, so you'll excuse me. I just want to read that statement again from police because it has been updated. It says at approximately 7:15 this evening, police received a report of a possible hostage situation in which 2 cabinet ministers and a deputy minister were allegedly taken hostage. Mondli Gungubele confirming that they were taken hostage. After attempts to negotiate with the hostage takers to release the hostages, police resorted to a tactical approach and successfully rescued the hostages. There were no shots fired during the rescue. At least 56 people, including 7 women, have been arrested, and they are likely to face charges of at least 3 counts of kidnapping. While processing the suspects, 3 of them have been taken for medical checks after they complained of pains. So this, of course, is something that's still ongoing. Those Pule live visuals, yeah, Pule's live visuals are still there. As soon as we see some action, we'll take you live. But also, Vish Naidu was at the venue earlier, and this is what he had to say.
They didn't make any reports in terms of the medical state. They were whisked away by the protectors. I'm not sure to exactly where. I can't confirm that.
How bad was this? Was tear gas dispersed inside the hall?
No, I just said to you that we successfully penetrated the room where they were being held hostage, and there were no shots fired. There were initially no injuries reported, but while processing the 56 suspects, we received reports to which we had to promptly respond and take them for medical treatment.
Did you find any arms? Did you confiscate any arms? Anything like that?
Well, at this stage, the report that I've given you is all that I have to provide at this point in time.
Yeah, so that, of course, is Vish Naidu saying how things went down, but still early stages. And people are still being processed, as you saw, that one member who has been detained, taken to the restroom for a break, and then, of course, taken back into the room as they are questioned. So, of course, the several ministers, 2 ministers, I should say, were held hostage, Mondli Gungubele as well as Thandi Modise, the defense minister, after those talks broke down. Pule is there standing by to see if we can get anyone else to speak to us, but police, of course, are not allowing that to happen. We are trying to get a reaction from different organizations, and this is interesting because a person from Africa Defence Review, Darren Olafir, saying the following, that taking ministers hostage is a significant breakdown in the rule of law and a worrying development. There is no justification to this either, no matter who the perpetrators are or how right they believe their grievances are. That minister still met with the LSWV after the group had breached security at Luthuli House in the week is poor judgment and terrible security. The group was being indulged partially because of ministers wrongly mixing ANC and state business, and this as a result. And that, of course, is Darren Olafir from the Africa Defence Review. So several people commenting on this already, but police are saying that all of those people who were taken in are being questioned and they will be processed and face 3 charges of kidnapping. Pule is back with us. I guess it's going to take a couple of hours, isn't it, for all of these people to be questioned and statements taken down and processed?
Well, it seems like it is indeed going to take a couple of hours. We see now this place is being cordoned off by the SAPS officials here, and we just saw this right now. But what we also just saw is one of the suspects actually saying that, in fact, calling up my name saying, please save us, we're being falsely arrested. And you would have seen them as they were walking up saying that they did nothing wrong. And I'm assuming this one of the suspects again. How are you?
Happy, happy.
There we go. She's saying in Zulu that we've been arrested, but she's fine. And she's also one of the elderly women I saw during that march on Wednesday. Now, if you take a listen to what Vish had to say, he said there was no gunshots that were fired. But you speak to the witnesses who were here, who witnessed everything, and they're saying that there were shots that were fired, and after that actually unfolded, they were then evacuated from the scene, and they were told to leave. They were shocked seeing so much police officials, and as you can see again, one another suspect going there into the restroom, and the police now asking us kindly to actually leave this scene here. But what we also understand, Shahan, is that these are some of the suspects who have been escorted, and statements are currently being taken, and it seems as though we might be here for quite some time, for hours as well. But these suspects are saying every of them saying they've done nothing wrong, denying that they are on the wrong side of the law. But that's juxtaposition of what those statements from the net joints we've seen, and that's what we've also read, saying that yes, indeed, the ministers were held hostage. Apologies for those shaky visuals there, with the police having to escort us, saying that we cannot now go beyond this cordoned off scene here. But we've brought you some of those visuals that you've seen. We spoke to some of the suspects as well, who said that they've done nothing wrong and they're being held inside right now. And most of them actually also are women as well, who were saying that they had been disadvantaged by that consensus documents that had been signed in November, which speaks to that repatriation outlinements that they were saying would then be their benefits and interests as well, such as medical care services, bursaries, houses, and of course that tune to the amount of about 4.2 million rand, which was a payout. And right now their statements are currently being taken. In fact, we are seeing some of them heading back up, but it's quite a tight angle as police are actually blocking this us from actually going inside and seeing what's happening.
Yeah. And I guess as police block you and won't let you get any more information, we're going to leave it right there. Great reporting, Pule Letshwiti-Jones, on our breaking news story. It's been a dramatic evening. 3 people from government, 2 ministers, 1 deputy ministers, held hostage after a meeting went wrong with the Liberation Struggle War veterans. They had to be rescued, according to police.